Hey guys, Clumsy here. Welcome back to ETS2 Season 2. Finishing off this trip, hopefully. Hopefully this is the last part if everything goes well, so that we get paid. It's been a long trip, 3 parts so far, 1,000 kilometers more or less. But it's time to bring home the bacon. We are in North Macedonia, making our way south to Greece. Are we passing through other countries in the process? Let's have a look. No, I think it's basically North Macedonia and then Greece directly. We'll not be passing through Albania here. And we'll be going to, how do you read it? Ioannina. Ioannina? Ioannina probably. Something like that. Okay? Cottage cheese from Szeged to Ioannina. Bring it home. And of course Alan, still sleeping soundly like a cat. That guy is the best sleeper I know of, and that's actually saying a lot, because as Mrs. Clumsy can attest to, I am one of the best sleepers out there. The moment my head makes contact with the pillow on the bed, I am snoring within seconds, not minutes, seconds. I don't know. Yeah, sleeping. I don't often have trouble sleeping. I often, how do you say? Because probably oftentimes by the time I sleep, I'm already super tired. Like I've done as much as I could in the day already. As you guys might know, I'm a morning person, so I like getting up early, doing things early in the morning. So by the time it's evening, around 10 p.m. even, I'm too tired already. Because I woke up like, I don't know, 5 a.m., 6 a.m. Done as much as I could. So by this time, I'm all beat and ready to take a rest. So maybe that's why I don't have trouble sleeping. Maybe, I don't know. So basically I tire myself out that there is no chance anymore to like think or hang around and just go directly to sleep. Ready to start another third day after the recharge. Maybe. I noticed no electronic thing here as well in this stall. That might be a trend. Over in these parts, maybe they're not too big on the electronic toll system yet. I don't know. Friendship Motorway. Nice, I like the sound of that. We had a friendship route back home, back in the Philippines. In our city, in my home city. In Las Piñas. Las Piñas is the city. They have what we call the friendship route. It's basically
Keep left.
My city is notorious for subdivisions. And I'm not sure if subdivision is a very common term. It's basically like villages. Gated villages. Okay, so imagine, okay, before you can get to someone's house, you have to enter like a gated area. With the guardhouse, you have to have a sticker so that you can enter, things like this for security reasons, So there are lots of gated areas. Each of these are called subdivisions. And the role of, and sometimes there are subdivisions inside subdivisions. So it's like subdivisionception, right? So yeah, the role or the purpose of this friendship route is, as the term implies, it's a friendship route. It's a route that connects the different subdivisions together. It's a very nice concept because if you can imagine so many villages, so many subdivisions, right? Each of them needing a separate sticker. Yeah, imagine that. So, and each sticker would need to be renewed every year. You would need to put the sticker on your car. So that's one more thing other people don't like, right? Because if you put a sticker in your car, then it will like ruin the aesthetics of the car. And if you have one sticker for each village, then you'll have many stickers on your windshield and it won't look nice. You'll look like a public transportation system with lots of the signs and whatnot, right? So the role of the very nice lighting here, street lamps mod for the win. So the role of the friendship route is to connect those different villages together. So the premise is this friendship route, it's done by the city. So it's a city, how do you say? It's a city initiative, right? So you get one sticker from the city and you would have access to go through the villages on certain times of the day, right? Only on peak hours, for example. But it would allow you to enter and pass through a limited area of the village. So they would have like certain roads, friendship routes basically, and that would be the road you take when you're traversing that subdivision. And in such a way, maybe the question is, why do you need to go through the subdivision? Because my city is one of the worst out there when it comes to traffic, I would say. Imagine this one, the layout of the city was not built with urban planning in mind, because there is a very famous road, and if you're a Filipino you might know this. It's called Alabang Sapote Road. You don't need to memorize the name, but imagine this road. This is the main road of the city, okay? And this road is just one straight line. Imagine that, one straight line going through the center of the city, okay? And that's the main way you travel, okay? But wait, there's more, because as you travel through the city, of course you have to go to places inside the city, right? You want to go to subdivision A, to subdivision B, you want to go to this street, this mall, this establishment. So you would have to turn off somewhere, right? You would have to turn left or right somewhere. So you're traversing this main road, and you can imagine there's an intersection here to go to subdivision A, and then a few meters ahead there's another intersection to go to subdivision B, and then subdivision C. And sometimes, depending on the size of the intersection, there would be a traffic light. 1 second, let me try and think. No, there would hardly be any traffic lights, but we would have traffic enforcers, right? So there are only a few major intersections with the lights. Most of them are manned by traffic enforcers, and they would be the ones directing the traffic. So you can imagine if it's like off-peak or off-shift time, then there would be no one manning the intersections and you would be on your own. But yes, imagine that, one main road with all those intersections, and put all those, I don't know, thousands of cars in there traversing the city. So you can imagine the amount of traffic, right? Because of all those intersections, four-way intersections. And each one going about their business, but all sharing the same main road. So the traffic is horrendous, especially in peak hours. Like you think, let me see, I think 20 kilometers was like, to travel 20 kilometers took like an hour. And that's like maybe around 10 kilometers, half of that would be a highway. So the last 10 kilometers would be like 30 minutes, let's say, or 40 minutes even. So something like that. So it's really bad. Oh, it's like lots of bumps here. But yeah, not the best. So the friendship route is an alternative way of traveling through the city. Instead of traversing the main road with all the intersections, you travel inside the villages. Kind of a plan B route, you know. And at first glance, it might seem a bit more of a hassle, right? Because you travel around. You don't travel in a straight path. You travel around, have those many intersections, and you're traveling through villages. So the speed limits are always low. Actually, scratch that. There is no speed limit anywhere. It's just it's not like you won't go like 80 kilometers an hour inside the village, right? Because the roads aren't built for that, and you'd have to constantly stop because of all the turns. So you'd have no opportunity to speed up even. But yeah, even if you're traveling slow, even if you're doing all those turns and traversing around the city instead of through it, oftentimes it would still be a lot faster traveling through the villages because of that factor, because of how much traffic there is on the main road. But yeah, that's really the worst kind of traffic I've seen. The worst urban planning, and it's bad because the city has grown quite a bit. So it's good that the city has flourished. So like before, I was already alive when it was not yet a city, and then at some point, I guess in the 90s, it became a city, and then from there it's been growing and growing, but the roads have stayed the same. So the activities have increased, but the roads have remained the same, and so you can imagine the havoc that causes. Yeah, that's, I think, the effect of poor urban planning. Just smack on things more and more, put on more buildings, put on more junctions, put on more traffic lights or traffic enforcers. And yeah, what you get is a chaotic thing. This is why when people ask me, do I have any traffic mods enabled? No siree. Because I have gone through... 1 second, where are we going? Oh, here. Okay, my bad. Because I have gone through so much traffic in real life, I don't want to simulate it anymore. Take me away from all that kind of traffic. I think I've had my fill. Yes. Traffic and me, we are long-time buddies, but I don't think we want to see each other's face anymore. Yes, if you get what I mean. I've had enough of it in my lifetime. So no traffic mods is perfectly fine for me. Like this, clear roads with just minimal cars, just to see that you're not alone. I'm fine with that already. I don't want to stay in traffic and go bumper to bumper with someone lining up at the traffic light. No, thank you. I've had that in reality for too long already. And yeah, I've had that for too long. You can imagine how bad the traffic is that I can actually read a book.
After 50 yards, turn right.
Yes, literally, read a book in traffic. So I'm on the steering wheel, I have my book open. Like imagine where that Volvo sign is, that would be where my Kindle is, my ebook. Right? And I would, because it's bumper to bumper on the main road,
100 yards, turn right.
even in other cities, that I would be, okay, it's stop again. And it's not just a simple, it's not even like a traffic light stop where you are like stopped for 1 minute and then go for 1 minute or a few seconds and then stop for 1 minute again. It's not like that. It's not organized. It's a bumper to bumper traffic with no traffic lights, so it's just really full of cars. So it's constantly stop go, stop go, stop go. So stop maybe, I don't know, 5-10 seconds, go for like 2 seconds and then stop again. So you can't really put your focus elsewhere, right? You have to be constantly looking at the road. But even so, it's gone to that level of traffic that people learn, people learn how to adapt to make some productivity out of all that waste of time. So for me, on my end, I've learned how to read a book while stuck in traffic. Oh my goodness, yeah, so I'm not really excited for traffic mods. I'm okay to have minimally occupied roads. Thank you very much. Okay, that looks good. There have been lots of studies done on how negatively impacting traffic can be in the Philippines, and I don't know the exact numbers, but suffice it to say, people are losing millions worth in terms of productivity. So because you're stuck in traffic, you're able to work less, you're able to earn less, things like that. And so it's really putting a dent a huge dent on people's productivity and income. Actually, that might be one thing that's, I know this is hard, this is not good to be looking for a silver lining amidst this pandemic, right? But there are some good things that have come out from here. And one of those things is people have been forced, companies, governments have been forced to find alternative means of doing their whatever they do. So like payments before, you have to pay over the counter. The establishments needed to learn and to implement electronic payment options, right? In the companies, people learned how to work from home, how to connect remotely. And so in my company, they even went to that phase, or not really phase, we are now in that stage where we are remotely working most of the time. So that is the official stance of the company now, that it's not really necessary to go to the office except in specific, like real when there is a real need for a meeting or something. But the normal the standard operating procedure is that everyone works remotely. And you can imagine how productive that is, because if you're not stuck in traffic for 2 hours, 3 hours for a day, then you gain that much time more in productivity, whether that's in actually working or recharging yourself or for recreational purposes, right? Either way, that's going to be very good, because it's going to be not because of you're stuck in traffic. And that's one of the things I realized when I first moved here to Singapore. So I lived in the Philippines for like I don't know, most of my life actually, more than 20 years. And then I moved here to Singapore. I've been here for maybe 8 years, more or less. And I realized the moment I moved here how much time I was losing back home because of traffic. Because here traffic is minimal and I'm working mostly remotely, so I don't need to spend time for that commute. And it's a real it's a double-edged sword. It's that much more time it gives you. It's a bit tempting to like pour all of that into work. And that's one of the things people have problems these days. Switching to remote work blurs the line between life and work, right? Because if you're always home, then that means and then you work from home, and that means you can work anytime, right? By like transitive properties, right? If you're always home and you're working from home, that means you can always work. But it shouldn't be that way. Each one has to learn their boundaries, putting boundaries in there. Like even if you're home, you have to have specific working hours, for example, or you have to set certain rules for yourself to keep yourself sane and keep yourself healthy, both physically and mentally. So people learn and people adjust, and I've learned to adjust with that years ago when I moved to remote working. And yes, I've learned a few tricks along the way. So when this thing hit last year, it was not really new to me, but I was happy that I didn't have to adjust so much, at least on that end.
After 100 yards, turn left.
And that is the story
Turn left.
that branched out all from the Friendship Route Highway. My goodness, I can talk, huh? Sorry about that monologue, guys. Hope that kept you company. But yes, welcome to Greece. We're now in Greece. In case you didn't notice, we crossed over the border checkpoint a while back there while I was busy telling my story. And then yes, you can see the Greek alphabet, the Greek letters in here now, which I'm not sure how to read. But thankfully, there is an English equivalent for each place.
Keep left.
So at least we have a chance. I don't see our place yet. So that must mean still a bit off, away from where we are going to go. And also, it looks like it's turning dark again. Goodness. Does that mean we'll need to do a bit of night driving? And how long does it take? 16 hours remaining. 2 hours left. We can sleep a bit, I think, if needed. There is a rest area up ahead. But I'm a bit tempted to just plow on through. And see if we can do some kind of... just continue with the night driving. We'll see if we can manage.
Keep right. After 50 yards,
Oi.
turn right.
Goodness, this guy. And then he stops. What the heck?
Turn right.
Wow. Is he looking for an accident or what? I think he wants like an insurance payout or something. Oh my goodness, that was pretty close. Cutting me off is one thing. That close. Cutting me off and then braking is a completely another. Goodness, AI in this game, sometimes they are too reflective of real people, huh? Some cray people. Good. Interchange. Lots of interesting signs here. This is one thing I really enjoy, going to different countries here in ETS2. Because each country has their own style of doing things. Different language, first and foremost, but also even the signs, the way they are made, you know, the different regulations, and just the style. You know, sometimes they say the same thing, but they're done very differently. They're organized very differently, and it's quite fun going through them, driving through them, and trying to interpret them. Like this one, how do you read that? Looks like it's an industry. I don't know, an intersection going to an industry. Maybe. Yeah, Kozani. Probably. And then there was an intersection icon a while ago and then a circle, and don't know what that meant. But I'll show you, and maybe you know better than I do. This is the only benefit when it's starting to get dark.
Yards, exit right ahead.
You start to see those nice lamps again. Okay, bit fast. Oh, look at that sunset, guys. Oh my goodness, look at that view. It's worth it. Yeah, I think we'll plow on through. Thank you. Bit of a tricky road here, huh? A while ago in North Macedonia, we were driving through some mountain passes. It was tricky. But I was too busy telling my story to point it out to you guys. My goodness, look at this. Beautiful cliffs, beautiful skies. Oh my goodness, I think this might be a... let's see. Trying to decide whether this would be the thumbnail or the one a while ago with the mountain pass. I think I'll stick with the mountain pass for now. What is that sign then? 80 kilometers when it's raining, I guess. But that's for cars. For trucks, we're already at 80. There we go. And I think I need to change the force feedback here. I think I remember I wanted internal friction to be maxed out in the force feedback. I don't think I've done that yet in ETS2. Attention, nice. That's actually nice to see that there are how do you say, English equivalents, very tourist friendly. Maybe tourism is a big industry here in Greece. I can imagine Greece is always one of the top destinations when it comes to places to go to, so I can imagine tourism here is pretty large. And if so, that would make sense why they would have English signage. very accommodating to tourists and outsiders. Yeah, like that. 80 kilometers when it's raining. Is that the right read? Is that the right interpretation of that sign? Oh, look at these lamps here in the tunnel. I like that, definitely. Whoa, the Lamborghini. Definitely. That sound is from Drive Safely. We don't hear it often, but when we do, man, it's a treat. Lucky. Good. I'll take it. There's a stop sign. There's a traffic light here as well in the tunnel. I think I remember asking about that before. It should always be green unless the tunnel is blocked or maybe there's snow. The road is closed. That's probably why they have the light there. And look at how this tunnel looks, guys. Accentuated by these street lamps. Man, these small mods really add a lot to the game, huh? Improving the lights a bit, improving the textures a bit, you know, things like that. Okay, where are we going? Straight ahead, I guess. I still don't see the place we're going to. Ioannina. There we go, 61 kilometers. Ah, almost there, guys. Almost there. 61 kilometers left. I like that it actually has the mile marker. Or kilometer marker in this case. So it's a toll gate. Slow it down. No e-pass, fine. Thank you. Man, I have bad fuel economy again. That went down to 40.2. That's not the most fuel economic drive. But then again, the roads have not been the friendliest, so I think I'm okay with that. As long as we arrive in one piece. Almost there, guys. Hang in there. But yeah, this night driving amidst these tunnels actually look pretty good, huh? If I was going to go night driving anywhere, I would prefer it here. Because in some areas there are no lights at all, and that's just sad. But here it just really feels like an urban area, you know? Feels like you're not alone. Like this one, okay, now. Maybe I spoke too soon. Now it happens. But then again, it's not really for long because up ahead again, looks like there are lights again. Arachthos River, or however you pronounce it. Yeah. Now night driving is something I can look forward to, thanks to these lights. Good recommendation from you guys. Mavilis Tunnel. Each of their tunnels have names. Very interesting. Oh, and I see something. I see something there. That's the proverbial light at the end of the tunnel. Or in this case, it might even be literal. I will gladly take it. So it's 100 kilometers per hour on this highway, but when it's raining, you're down to 80. That's how I read that sign. Interesting how you can convey messages without needing words, right? Just by having pictures. And that's actually the way how IKEA stuff does work, right? Have you guys ever ordered anything from IKEA? Bought anything from there? In many countries we have IKEA already, right? In Singapore we have them. In the Philippines I think there's also IKEA now, an online store at least. In the US, in Europe for sure, especially in Sweden, I can imagine. But yeah, they have a very different philosophy, right? It's like a DIY philosophy. So much so that their ads are centered around that DIY philosophy, memes around it. Like IKEA selling a cake, but only the ingredients and you have to bake it yourself. Things like that. But yeah, it's very interesting. The first time we bought a furniture from them, so for sure we had to carry it ourselves back home. unless we wanted to pay the extra delivery fee. But if you wanted to be very cheap about it, then you'd find a way to carry it back home. And then when you do get to open the box, there would be this manual. And what's interesting is this manual has very few words in it. It only has diagrams. And that actually makes it very cost efficient.
After 50 yards, exit right ahead.
Because remember those other manuals, usually how you get, especially when it's an international product? The manual would be like 50 pages thick.
100 yards, turn right.
But the actual manual is only 10 pages long. It's just that it would be in like 5 languages. So the manual will be super thick, but you'll only be needing the first 10 pages or the second 10 pages depending on which language you're looking for. But then it has to be done, right? And then the IKEA guys, they're very smart about this. They try to avoid that by putting in as few words as possible, because pictures are universal. Doesn't matter what language you have, you should be able to understand the picture, so they stick to pictures. Very smart. It's just that sometimes it gets hard to understand, but that's part of the experience, right? That's part of the IKEA experience, the understanding the signs on your own. Oh, ProMods country right there. Thank you, Lori. Big help. Alright guys, we're almost here. Time to get paid. Don't think we're late. I hope not. Are we? No, we have 13 hours more. Nice. Although the engine seems to be a bit hot with all that fanning around. We're almost home. Cottage cheese, well intact, well preserved, thanks to this Schmitz S.KO trailer of ours. This guy is worth the money. Okay, looking good. Just line that up properly, take it easy. I'm happy I didn't buy any steerable axle trailers. I hate steerable axles. They have their uses, but it always catches me off guard how to maneuver them. Because they turn in a very different, weird axis for me. That looks good. Turn it out, get it closer. Looks good right there. And just maybe nudge ourselves a bit forward. There we go. Perfect. We made it, guys. Show me the money. After 3 episodes, 1,000 kilometers, we are home. 1,030. Look at all that money and XP. 30k. Look at that. More than half. Nice. Level 12. Good. Hey, look at that. 1 second. I have one skill that I haven't assigned yet. Oh, my bad. Okay. Put more into eco driving. We should have done that at the beginning of the job. My goodness. We are now at 54k. How much is Fred Scania? I'm not sure. But the basic one, I'm imagining 150k should be enough. So we are 1/3 of the way there. Nice. Alright guys. Well, let's leave it here. We are one step closer to buying a new truck. We'll see how it goes. Hope you enjoyed the journey. I surely did. Thanks for watching. Have a nice day. Clumsy Trucking, and catch you in the next one, guys. Clumsy Trucking, bye-bye.